Whether you're exercising, working outdoors, playing golf, or simply trying to get a good night's sleep, dehydration and muscle fatigue can trigger cramps. And experts are now pointing to a solution trusted by elite athletes that may help provide a fast relief. Joining us today is Philip Cupins, CEO of the Pickle Juice Company, with more. Philip, many people think muscle cramps are simply caused by dehydration. What's really happening in the body when we cramp up?
It's great to be here. So, yeah, muscle cramps are in fact something more than just dehydration or electrolyte imbalances or any other type of trigger. A muscle cramp is a neurological response, or your brain's response to those physiological triggers. And pickle juice, the product, not to be confused with pickle brine or the stuff in the jar or pickles or juices, as a matter of fact, it's a trade name like Band-Aid or Xerox or Kleenex, is the only product in the world that's scientifically proven to stop muscle cramps, and it does so in 60 seconds or less.
You had a huge moment at the soccer match recently. Tell us about that and pickle juice's usage by elite athletes.
Yeah, we had this incredible moment very recently when, just like everybody else, we're watching the soccer match, and lo and behold, in the 93rd minute, the referee of all people goes down with a muscle cramp, and then the assistant referee runs onto the field like the hero and gives the referee our product in its retail package form to resolve his cramp. And sure enough, he pops up in less than 60 seconds and resumes the game, and the rest is history.
Okay, how does pickle juice actually work and who can benefit from it?
Anybody can really benefit from pickle juice. It's a clean, natural product that doesn't have any artificial ingredients, no sugar, no caffeine, none of that yellow 5 stuff that you see in brine or some of these other products. So really anybody can take it, whether it's a kid playing sandlot ball or an elite athlete, but also those of us who get nighttime leg cramps that aren't caused by exercise necessarily. So it's a product that can be used by anybody, and it'll work in 60 seconds.
Pickle juice isn't the same as pickle brine. What's the difference?
Well, pickle juice has nothing to do with pickle brine other than the familiar flavor. So we called it that because the whole hyperfunctional food movement was and still is very, very new to people. So people are still trying to understand that you don't need pharmaceuticals or supplements or any of these complex type of products to solve certain everyday problems, if you will. So we kind of have a similar flavor profile to pickle brine, but that's where the similarities stop. We call it that because of the similar flavor profile, but now we spend more time educating people between the difference in our product and brine. So pickle juice and pickle brine are not synonymous other than kind of a similar flavor.
Wow, this is great information. Where can people find more about this?
If you want to learn more about pickle juice, our research, our science, you can go to picklepower.com or find us at Pickle Juice, and hopefully we'll be able to share some more of these amazing viral moments we have when people go down in global sporting events.
Thanks, Philip, for joining us this morning.